So on Instagram, I asked a question, what's your biggest question about real estate investing? And so I wanted to answer your questions today. I'm out here at the Waterwall Park in Houston near the Galleria, near the hotel I'm staying. Of course, we're still evacuated from the hurricane, but honestly, I really want to know what your questions are so that way I can specifically answer them. So I think it's a great start. So let's get into it. So I really wanted to answer some of your questions that y'all asked on Instagram. So here goes. The first one is, how do I do it with someone else's money? And this one is from JC Silver Stacks on Instagram. And that's a really great question, because when you're doing real estate, you really do want to try to use other people's money as often as possible, because the less money you have in a deal, there is less risk for you, but also it allows you to participate with somebody else that might also have experience. So my suggestion is always to perhaps find somebody that is already investing in real estate and use their money and learn from them. A lot of times sources of money can be people that you know. Real estate is really a lot about relationships when it comes to finding money. As long as you're doing real estate, you're always going to be looking for money to do new deals. So you're constantly trying to find sources of new money. There's a lot of people who have their money out of the market right now, and they're getting like zero return on their money. And so now's a great time to tap those relationships. And really, when you start doing deals and being successful at deals, money will find you. You don't have to find money. Precious Metals Exchange on Instagram asked, where do I start? That's a really good question. So really, you start just like any other subject, just like you started learning about silver and gold, or you started learning about the stock market and everything. First, education is key. And so get yourself some books on how real estate works. Like there's some great books out by Brandon Turner. There's some great books by a lot of these guys that are doing rentals, what's called the BRRRR strategy, which is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. That's a great strategy, but you need to figure out what kind of strategy, what kind of investor you want to be in real estate, and then you can start there. But really, it's such a broad subject, real estate is, and so you need to start by educating yourself, because education is the key. Education takes the risk out of investing in real estate. Hoboken Coins asked on the Instagram story, if I buy an old warehouse and convert it to a brothel, what do I tell the cops when they raid it? This is a bit of a joke, but it's really funny. So I told him on Instagram, I said, basically, you got to make sure the cops are on the payroll, so that way it helps you out a little bit. But yes, bribing the cops is cost of doing business. Just kidding. NA Coins has a really good question. He says, my question is about getting started, selecting a good property, location, free resources to learn. So the first thing is selecting a good property or location. If you're in a big city, you need to figure out what part of the city you want to invest in. If you're in a small town, you need to figure out what street or what area of town you want to invest in. And so you kind of need to pick a place. A lot of investors like to pick a location that's close to where they live, because a lot of investors like to invest near their house, so they like to drive by their properties. That's me. I like to invest in my town. I like to be able to drive by my properties at any time and just see what's going on there, make sure that nobody's parking in the grass or just stuff like that. I'm weird like that, but a lot of people, they can't. Like if you live in California where taxes are crazy nuts right now and people are leaving in droves, then you probably want to invest in the Midwest, somewhere that you can't drive by your property every day. So that's a whole other different story, but really location is very key. And specifically when you get down to what street you want to invest on, because the street has a big difference, because one street can be like C properties, D properties, which is like kind of ghetto-ish or war zones, you know, bad part of town considered, or you can be in a good part of town, which might be too expensive. So you need to figure out what your budget is and where you want to invest. I typically invest in the B part of town, which is a little bit better. I'm looking for blue and white collar workers that have good jobs. I'm looking for families. I'm not looking for cheap properties. I'm looking for quality properties that are going to be around for a long time. Are there free resources to learn? Well, man, the YouTube is so full of stuff. There's so many books on real estate. That's why I'm starting this channel here, because there is a lot out there. My channel really is going to focus on more like rent to own stuff, and really just what I've learned. I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. I'm not a real estate guru. I'm not even a real estate agent or anything like that. I'm just an investor who's learning just like you guys, but I just want to share some of my knowledge. But there's tons of stuff out there. Silver Eagles 1660s had a question. He said, can you do it with minimal funds? Of course you can. When I first started out in investing in real estate, my first deal was $2,000, and I didn't even have money. I had to go to the bank, and I borrowed, and I got a credit line for $10,000, and I used that credit line, $2,000 of that, to buy my first little single wide mobile home. And I sold that thing, owner finance, like 17 times. I made thousands of dollars with that one house. And then when I was done with it, 7 years later, I sold it for $2,000. And so I started off with very little money. You 100% don't need a whole lot of money. I'm just gonna tell you that if you do have money, it is easier, and you can move a lot faster, and you can get better deals if you have money. Let's take, for instance, if you have, you know, if you say you have $100,000 in cash and you find a house that's goes up for sale in a decent neighborhood, a foreclosure that's, you know, $90,000, and you're able to make an offer on it fast with cash, it's great. So you don't necessarily have to have cash, but you need to be able to have access to credit line, maybe a home equity line of credit on your house or something. A lot of people are scared to go get a second mortgage on their house, but if you're doing it to invest in real estate, it could be something you want to look at. It's, you know, you might want to pull $100,000 of equity out of your house to be able to go invest it in real estate. Now, of course, don't go buy, you know, a new car, or go buy something stupid, or go put it all on black at the casino. But if you're smart with it, and you're disciplined with it, and you're really serious about turning that $100,000 into $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, it can be done, and it's not impossible. I have a credit line where I'll take the money and I'll buy a deal, and then I'll remodel the deal, and then go refinance the deal, and then put the money back in the credit line, and it's ready with it. My gun is reloaded to use on another deal. So that if you look at it like that, if you look at it as funds for your next deal, then, you know, it can be very effective. Hey, so I hope this video helped you out. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section down below. If you like the video, hit the like button for me, and subscribe too. I'm looking for some new subscribers, and I'd love to have you along. So this is Mike with Silver Chimp, and I'll see you on the next video.